violated laws against self-dealing through his foundation. And I don't know if you've had a chance to read it, but they lay out several donations that he made in charities in order to settle lawsuits. One of them involved Mar-a-Lago. It was a $100,000 donation to a veterans charity, and it was to settle fines that Mar-a-Lago owned Palm Beach over some sort of a dispute about a flagpole. Of course, it is illegal to use a charity's money to benefit yourself or your businesses. Are you concerned at all that Trump may have broken the law?
No, and I would point out in the second paragraph of that story that you mentioned, Aaron, it says may have, and later on in the story it says the IRS may want to look into it. But of course they haven't. And let's just go back. I think this is a classic Donald Trump. He wanted to raise the American flag as high as he possibly could over Mar-a-Lago. I think a lot of Americans at this point would applaud that. And of course the town or the county said he couldn't do it. It had to be smaller, so they started assessing a $1,250 a day fine. So the way that they, quote, settled it was for Mr. Trump to donate $100,000 to a veterans group. I don't want that to be lost here.
Can you categorically say there was no self-dealing, or at this point, are you not sure?
Well, I've been talking to the people who are responsible for the Trump Foundation today, trying to get some facts and some figures. And so I know this is all developing. We need to gather information, but let me tell you something. It's very important for people to understand what happened in these cases. Donations went to veterans groups. Donations went to another person's foundation in another instance. The idea that the money went for, when people hear self-dealing, Aaron, you know what they think of immediately, that it's going for plane rides and fancy hotels and expensive meals and certainly salaries and overheads. Again, that sounds to me like the Clinton Foundation, where a report this weekend said about 6% of their money got to charities. A lot of it was wasted in overhead.
But
that
again,
is not the case here.
Nobody in the
Trump family
Foundation
is in the Clinton Foundation.
Kellyanne, the point, though, is the Trump Foundation. And if this was settling a lawsuit that enabled Donald Trump's business to benefit, whether it be Mar-a-Lago or a golf course, that would possibly then be self-dealing.
I'm sorry, how did his golf course benefit from him redirecting monies that mistakenly came to the Trump Foundation? He redirected them to someone else's private foundation based on a hole-in-one contest. They were misdirected to his foundation. I'm told by his accountants and attorneys they went to the right foundation after that. How in the world did his business benefit from that? How did Mar-a-Lago benefit from him giving $100,000 to veterans? The veterans benefited, and I think that's great. I applaud him for doing that.
Well, the business, of course, benefited by the lawsuit going away and being settled, right? That would be how the business benefited.
Well, there are many lawsuits every day against people. I think that's a bridge too far. I think you're making things up based on facts as they are not reported in this story, which